So previously I had checked into my quarantine hotel, my new home for the next 14 days. My room was pretty nice. The food, very tasty. I had even made my own gym in my room and I had made some new friends. The best thing of all though, I didn't have coronavirus. Oh yeah. But I still had a long way to go and this is the rest of my quarantine experience.
So I thought I would explain some of the rules and regulations about the quarantine hotels. Now, when some of my friends found out I was back in Malaysia, they were really nice, they were really helpful. They were saying things like, oh, let me know where you're staying. I'll bring you this, I'll bring you some food. Not allowed. The only thing you're allowed is if it's medical reasons. Any medication you need to take, that is allowed. Apart from that, no friends are allowed to bring you anything. And I think it's quite fair because we are getting very good care here. We're always getting calls every day on the WhatsApp group asking how we are, if there's anything we need. If you imagine how many people are in quarantine, if every single person's friend came to the hotel to give stuff, it would have to get checked. It would be a very long process. So some people have asked me, are you not allowed to leave your room? No, not at all. The only time we're allowed to leave our room is to get our food at 7 AM in the morning for breakfast, lunch and dinner. That is it. Oh, and to put out our trash. Bed sheets. So normally when you stay in a hotel, they will make up your room every day. Obviously, because we are in quarantine, we have to do everything ourselves. So after 4 days, we will leave our bed sheets out and they can give us new bed sheets. So that's quite strange, being in a hotel where you have to take care of yourself. And also, that means you have to take extra care when you eat your food. So when I eat my food, usually I'm very messy. But in this hotel, I am being really careful because if I spill it on the floor, no one can come and clean it up. I have to just look after the place really well. What do you do in the hotel all day? In my opinion, if you set challenges and goals, you can get through it quite easily. So for me, the time is flying by because I've got so much work I can do. There's no excuse to go out. You can't go out, you can't see your friends, you're in the hotel for 14 days. So I'm using this time to really be productive, and then when I'm finally out of quarantine, I can go outside and do the things I wanted to do. So it can get lonely here, obviously, because I'm on my own. I've come from being with my mum and my family, but I think it's alright because my mum is just a call away, my friends are just a call away, and also the staff, I know I keep saying it, but the staff here are being really helpful and really friendly. We're in very good hands, which I'm very grateful of because that was one thing I was concerned about. I knew we'd be in a hotel quarantine, but I was worried about how we would get looked after. But so far, they've been taking very good care of us.
Nasi lemak, oh my gosh, yeah. I've waited so long to have this. I've not had this in 3 months. I'm finally back in Malaysia and I've got a nasi lemak. I am a very happy guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna taste so good.
Oh, yeah. Yum.
I'm sleeping at good times. So usually I will sleep really late and wake up really late in the morning. But because breakfast is delivered every day at 7 AM, I don't want it to be cold. So I am getting up at 7 o'clock so I can eat my breakfast. It's 8 o'clock here. I've got my coffee and I'm already doing my work. Usually I'd be in bed. When I get my breakfast, it's another chance to see some human people because it's the only time we're allowed out of our room. So I'll get my breakfast and I'll look to my left and I'll see someone and we'll just wave. No talking, because you can't hear them, but it's really nice because it's like you're seeing a human person. I know that probably sounds really weird, but for people like us who haven't seen anyone all day, just seeing someone else get their breakfast is actually really cool.
Okay, so I was just doing my work, I had my headphones on, and I looked at my phone and I had about 150 WhatsApp notifications. Breaking news, we can go home! Oh yeah! Oh my god, I'm so happy. So basically, it's now been announced that people who are in quarantine can now complete the rest of their quarantine at home. What? It's really good news for everyone who's in quarantine right now, who gets to go home, because if they've got kids or they've got families to go and see or loved ones, it now means they can be reunited. I can't wait to go back to my own home because I've not been back in about 3 months. It'll be so nice to have my own space. So yeah, this is the best news ever. I just can't wait to go back home. Getting my last ever meal.
Whoa, my favourite nasi karabu. Yum, yum, yum.
I am going to quite miss these meals I've had because some of them are meals I've never tried before in my life. It's stuff that I would never order in a restaurant in Malaysia because I'm too scared that it's going to be too spicy. So I've actually grown to like Malaysian food a lot more. Some of the stuff that I thought I didn't like, I've actually quite liked it, especially like the soups, for instance. So we didn't know what time we were going to check out this morning, but I packed my bags last night and I've literally been waiting outside my door because I just can't wait to go. Hopefully it will be soon. I can hear them knocking on people's doors, releasing them. So yeah, to my quarantine hotel room. It's been nice. You've been a good friend to me these past few days, but I'm very excited to go home.
So then the staff knocked on my door and I was finally free. They put my bag in the trolley and then we headed down the lift ready to check out. Now for the people asking, I was assigned to the Kip Hotel in Kapong. It's a 3-star hotel, and for a 3-star hotel, I think it was pretty good. Once I checked out, this Ang Mo was given an Ang Mo wristband, which I wasn't allowed to take off. And then, after 6 days, I finally had some fresh air and was ready to go home.
Oh, it feels good to be home. Oh my. I've not been back for 3 months and I checked. I was so worried I left aircon on. Luckily I didn't. Luckily my electricity bill is not going to be really high. But oh my, it just feels amazing to be in my own home. The experience I had in the hotel quarantine was not bad at all. Honestly, it was absolutely fine, but it is just so nice to be back. I was really worried when I was going to do my hotel quarantine. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what the food was going to be like. I didn't know what the staff were going to be like. They just took really good care of us. So they gave us these wristbands. I look like I'm a mental patient at a hospital. And if you cut these off, you will have to pay a 1,000 ringgit fine. So I'm definitely going to be keeping this on. Even when I shower, even when I sleep, I don't want to pay that fine. And what's next is, I've got a few more days here at home quarantine. And then I have to go to a government clinic to get a coronavirus test. And if I'm negative, they will then cut off my wristband and I will be free. So now I'm home and I can relax. I just thought I would answer a few of your questions that some of you asked in my last videos about the whole quarantine experience. So yes, we did have to pay. So the rules were, it's 75 ringgit per night for Malaysians and 150 ringgit for non-Malaysians. It was free, but they changed the rules, I think from June the 1st, I might be wrong. And yeah. So I got quite lucky because I only had to pay for about 6 days and then I can complete the rest at my home. So just because I'm home, it doesn't mean I'm free. I'm still under quarantine, but I am allowed to order Grab Food or Food Panda, and friends are allowed to pass me things, but I'm just not allowed to have any contact. They will just leave it at the front of my condo and then I will collect it. Some people were asking, how did you manage to cope? I didn't find it that boring. For me, time flew by. I think maybe if I was there for 14 days, I would have struggled a bit more, but I was able to call my friends, my family. I had a lot of work to do, so I just thought I would do all that work. I want to ask you guys, do you think you would be able to handle 14 days of quarantine? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for being with me on this journey, leaving comments and asking me how I am. I really appreciate it. So I've got a few more days here left in home quarantine, and I'm so happy to be home. Oh, one more thing. Because I've got nothing to do and I'm really bored, here's a parody.
Took a flight from London back to KL. The flight was like a flight from hell. I actually thought I was going to die, but thank God luckily I survived. Had some stupid people on my plane. No social distancing, they were insane. Had a 5-hour transit in Hong Kong. The airport was empty and I waited so long, so I got some noodles and they tasted great. And then I headed to my gate. The plane was empty, no one else was there. I was wearing a hat cause I had lockdown hair. Had a nice long sleep, it was really swell. And then I landed back home in KL. I really didn't know what to expect, but this is what happened next. So the immigration staff put us all in alignment through a thermoscanner, checking if we were fine. And then we had to do a coronavirus test. If you've not had it done, you better get checked. We then got our bags and we headed outside. Met these guys that were dressed like the CSI. And then I had the coolest ride, a police escort. That was really nice. So I checked in and I got sent to my room. Had a bed, TV and a nice bathroom. My first night of quarantine I had a good sleep. Woke up extra early to see what I can eat. All our meals were placed on a chair fire outside, and most of the food, it came with rice. Made my own little gym with my waterways, had a new workstation, oh it looked great. I found out I didn't have coronavirus, and I made some friends with a lovely nurse. Some of the food sounded really strange, but I had my bounty bars just in case. We could order room service, and I got my cornflakes. That time really flew by, but I missed my mates. Then suddenly we got the best news in the world. We could finally leave a quarantine hotel. Checked out, wristbands on, and I got some fresh air. Came back to my home and I sat on this chair. 14 days of quarantine, oh what a ride. In a few days time, this Angmo can go outside.